Hey y'all, it's Bearcat. Today made a major video on the newest edition. It's a pocket pistol. I felt the need to have a gun that I could throw in the pocket safely, a gun that would be effective and durable, something that I could run if I just wanted to run down the road to the grocery store, just a few blocks, and be gone, for a few minutes. Something I could throw in the pocket and run down the street with without having to dress up full gear. There's some days where you're at home on an off day and you don't plan on leaving the house at all, really. It's just kind of one of those bum days. And if you ever, decide, to go down the street to the store real quick, and you're in your gym shorts or whatever, you're lounging around the house, you just don't want to have to get completely dressed. Pair of pants, gun belt, all those things. So what I got is Kimber Micro 380. Now it's hot. We can go ahead and clear it. Weapons safe. This Kimber came with this little pocket holster. I'm not sure. I don't even know how to pronounce that, to be honest with you. DeSantis, maybe that's how you pronounce it. Little holster. I like it. It's made to fit this gun. Exactly, I would assume if Kimber put it in here with the gun. And it's got a rubberized texture so that it'll grip the inside of your pocket. Plus, I like this little wing, I guess you can call it. Whenever you draw, that typically catches on the inside of your pocket somewhere and holds the holster so that the gun will come free. So, neat little holster. It's very convenient because that's the form in which I plan to use the gun, and I didn't have to go buy a holster at all. It's perfect. So, this gun is a 1911 variant. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm not going to call it a 1911. There's some features that it doesn't have, but for the most part, it functions like a 1911, looks like a 1911, feels like a 1911. So we'll call it a variant. What it doesn't have is a back strap. That's one thing. Obviously it has a back strap. A grip safety is what it doesn't have. But everything else, your slide release and your safety is very similar. Your mag release, just like a 1911. One thing about this gun is when the safety's engaged, you can still manipulate the slide, and I do like that. You cannot do that if the hammer's down. Hammer down and the safety's on, then that's another thing with the 1911. If your hammer's down, the safety's not going to go on at all. But with this one, if the hammer is in a down position, the safety will activate, but the slide will no longer move if that hammer's down. So you have to take your safety off, get that hammer set, put it back on safe, and then you can manipulate the slide. Comes with these, I guess they're rosewood grips, so they look like. But this gun it's a good looking gun. Everything seems to be pretty quality. The fit and finish is great on it, which you can expect from a Kimber. You don't get a whole lot of traction off this grip, but you get a little more than what it looks. I'd like to have something up here. So you've got a gun this small and hands this large. It is kind of hard to keep that gun still in the hand when you're firing it because I don't have a whole lot of grip on it. You have a little rear check ring and this little, what would be a mainspring housing. I'm going to figure something out for that front strap though. The recoil on the gun is very, very, very manageable, as is with most 380s. Typically though, when you get down to a gun this small, it's hard to control. Not hard, you just get a little more felt recoil because it's just such a small gun. But it's got some weight to it, a little more weight than you would find on, say, a Glock 42. But I find I have ran 50 rounds through it just to do a function test, make sure it functions properly, and zero issues at all. And the recoil is, yeah, very easy to manage. You do have these large white dot sights. They're easy to pick up. I like them. What else we need to talk about? I bought this. I watched a lot of reviews, and I figured that it would be a reliable gun and something that could withstand the abuse of constantly taking it in and out of a pocket. You think wherever you store the gun, you're constantly going to be picking it up from a location, putting it in the pocket, carrying it around, taking it out of your pocket, laying it back down, and you just want something that's durable. It's not going to break. It's hard when you get down to smaller firearms because these parts become smaller. They have to be, and therefore they're not going to handle the stress that a full-size 1911 would. But I think this one's going to do just fine. That's one reason why I chose it. It's got a full-length steel guide rod, and I'm not going to take it all the way apart. I'll take the slide off. There we go. You got to get it right in that right spot. And that slide release, whatever you want to call it, comes out just like a 1911. And there it is. It's instead of having a link that moves, it's fixed and attached to the barrel. But you can see it's very, very similar to a 1911. That full length steel guide rod. It's got a flat recoil spring, not a round spring, which I like that too. And here it's still a little dirty. I haven't cleaned it yet. I really don't want to clean it. I want to run it and just to see how well it holds up without being cleaned. But, yep. And you have to push this little guy down right here and hold it, and then back that slide over top of it. That's one thing I find different. And then pretty much goes right back together just like a full size. The trigger is awesome on this little gun. All right, it's a lot better than what you find on most guns this size. So, let me see if I can show you. There's your take up. And then creep. There is no creep. And then your reset. There it is. Short. After it breaks, it does not go much further back. And on your reset, it goes forward barely. And it's light. Very little take up. No creep. Light, crisp break. Short reset that you can feel and you can hear. And then back in business. That's one thing you got to expect with a Kimber. That's another reason for going with a Kimber. Is I knew that because they were selling a gun that was smaller and expensive with their name on it, they weren't going to let you down on that quality factor. Your magazine, typical Kimber style, steel mag with a little plastic base pad, 7-round capacity. I find you can actually squeeze 8 in here. I've only got 7. I don't want to stress the spring out, but that's a good thing. They've kept it where there's plenty of room for that spring, so it's not under high stress when it's fully loaded, and it's not hard to load. And when that spring starts to wear out, and if you ever get to a point where that magazine is wearing out to the point where it's not feeding properly because there's not enough pressure on those rounds on that stack from that spring, now you've got an 8-round capacity. And I mean, in theory, that sounds like it would work. I don't know if that's going to work, but you would think that when that spring starts to wear out and is not providing enough pressure to auto load those rounds in, and you're having a malfunction. Because let's face it, you shoot these guns enough, any gun enough, springs wear out. And if you shoot a lot magazine springs, even Wilson Combat magazines, you have to run them a lot of rounds through these quality magazines. But at some point, they do wear out. So I'm wondering if when it wears out, if I can't throw an 8th round in it. That's 8. It just barely doesn't want to go in there, but I think once that spring gets broke in good, I think that'll expand the life of the pistol, really. So it comes with 1 magazine and the holster, and I paid $4.99 for it. So that's it. We'll do some more videos. I'm keeping track of my round count, so the next video we'll do some shooting and then eventually a full review on it. And after the review, you guys, if anybody's looking for a gun like this, then you'll have a full answer on whether it's for you or not. Thanks for watching. If you find this knowledgeable, please like it, share it. If it helps you out in any way, if you have any comments to leave, anything you need to add to it, anything you want to say about it, feel free to leave comments. Just remember to like and share and subscribe. Keep watching for more. Bearcat out.